These are flats with a side of poop bags. My name's Nicole and I'm a senior associate here at Barristan Law. I practice in the areas of civil litigation and employment law, and these are my essentials. First of all, I don't really consider myself to be a briefcase kind of gal. I bought this bag from Lululemon a couple months ago probably, and it literally fits everything. So this is my sort of day-to-day bag. You'd be surprised with how much it fits. So my first essential is lipstick. I usually have a couple different shades with me because when I first did public speaker training, when I first became an associate, I was told that a cardinal rule is that if you're speaking on camera, you should always have lipstick with you, whether that's in court on camera, whether that's filming, or even just talking to people in person. So I always make sure that I have at least 1 or 2 lipsticks to choose from. So my next essentials obviously are phones, plural. I have a personal phone and I have a work phone. So my work phone I use to check my emails and take client calls on, and then my personal phone is my personal phone. Some people use one, I prefer to have 2. This, contrary to popular belief, is not a stapler. This is my notary stamp. As a notary public in Ontario, if you're going to notarize a document, you have to stamp it with this fancy stamp. And you'd be surprised at how many times I've been asked to notarize things on the fly for people. So I just tend to keep my notary stamp in my purse from now on. These are flats with a side of poop bags. This is for my dog. I keep flats in my purse all the time because typically if I'm at work and meeting with clients or in court, I'll wear heels, but we can't be doing that every day. So I always bring a pair of flats to change into as well. This is my 2022-2023 Annotated Employment Standards Act of Ontario. As an employment lawyer, this is essentially my Bible. So I want to make sure that I have it with me at all times. So it usually makes its way into my bag at least a few times a week. This is my cardigan, and it's not just any cardigan, it's my Taylor Swift cardigan because who isn't a Swiftie these days? I always carry a spare sweater in my bag because if I'm not meeting with clients or I'm not on Zoom calls or I'm not in court and I'm just doing work at my desk, typically I like to be a little bit more comfortable than just wearing a blazer. So I'll usually change out of this and toss on a cardigan. These are my snacks. So I almost always have a sparkling water with me. And I almost always have some sort of little snack. Today it happens to be a Rice Krispie square. You never know when you're gonna get hungry, so it's always good to have some refreshments in your bag, especially if you have a long day of appointments or court or meetings or something like that. We won't open this right away. This is my Kobo. If I'm not working, one of my favorite pastimes or hobbies is to read. So I usually have my Kobo with me. Super convenient if I'm going to off-site meetings or appointments and I have a couple minutes to spare. Just open it up and take a little read. So right now it is on Beach Read by Emily Henry, who's one of my favorite authors. So I'll let you know how that one finishes. This is my notepad. It's a very nice Barristan Law notepad. I actually used it just yesterday meeting with friends who ended up having some legal questions that we got into a conversation about. So I always have my notepad with me. Never know when you're gonna have to take notes or write something down. And this one is the perfect size to fit right inside my purse. Last but certainly not least is my agenda. I'm still a pen and paper gal. I always have been, I always will be. So I always make sure that I have my agenda with me. There have been days where I've actually asked my husband to go home and get my agenda for me and bring it to me at work because I tend to panic if it's not in there. So this is probably the most important item that's in my purse. Well, I hope that that gave you a little bit more insight into my day-to-day as a lawyer and my essentials that I carry in my bag with me all the time.